Hello everyone, it's Cheryl here from Love and Light Yoga, and today I have a quick little practice for you to help ease lower back pain. So whether you already suffer with lower back pain or maybe you just need a little bit of a stretch in throughout that area, this is going to be the practice for you. It is mostly done from lying down. In fact, it's pretty much all done from lying down, and you don't need anything else for this. Just yourself and your mat or a blanket or something nice and soft that you can lie on and come down onto the floor. So yeah, I hope you will join me for this. And if you're ready, let's begin. So we are going to get started today just sitting up, and we are coming down onto our backs, but we're just going to start by bringing the soles of the feet onto the floor, keeping the knees bent up, and then having the hands either on the fronts of the knees or around the backs of the knees. And we're just going to do a few little seated cat-cows here. So as we inhale, we're going to roll the shoulders back, we're going to take the chest forward, maybe start to feel a little bit of a dip in the low back. And then as we exhale, tuck the chin into the chest. We're going to straighten out through the arms and start to press in between the shoulder blades away. As we inhale, we roll forward, we open up the chest. As we exhale, we roll it under, tuck the chin into the chest. Nice inhale. We roll up, we open the chest, take the shoulders back. As we exhale, tuck the chin into the chest. Nice. From here, we're going to very slowly and gently start to lower ourselves all the way down onto our mats. And when we get there, we're just going to hug the knees in towards the chest and maybe just find a little rock from side to side here. So just initially starting to massage out the lower back, maybe even the mid back, the upper back. But just feeling that little massage for the low back area. Just a little gentle rock side to side. And then we're going to bring the soles of the feet back down onto the floor. We're going to keep the knees bent up, and we're going to take our feet about as wide as the mat. So pretty wide, I suppose. So the feet are wide, we're going to keep the knees up, and we're going to have the hands down beside the body. We're just going to start to rock the knees one side and then the other. So we're not doing anything too fancy, just almost windshield wipering the knees from side to side. It doesn't matter if a little bit of a twist starts to come up into your body, maybe the shoulder blades start to lift off the floor, that's okay. We're just warming up here. We're just bringing a little bit of movement, a little bit of mobility in through the back and in through the body. And then the next time that we have the knees drop down towards the right, we're going to stop and we're going to hold. And we're not going to force anything, so we're not forcing the knees down or anything like that. We're just letting gravity take over here and do the work. We might even turn our gaze to look out towards the left hand side. Just let the knees relax. Just taking a few deep breaths. Noticing the more we relax, the more we can let go. Maybe the closer our knees might start to drift towards the mat. Checking in with your upper thighs, your hips, noticing if there's any more tension that you can release. Let's take one more breath in, one more breath out. And then on an inhale, bring your gaze back to center, bring the knees back up. On your exhale, let them drop down towards the opposite side. So knees dropping down towards the left. Again, we're not doing anything fancy here. We're just letting gravity take over, letting the knees do their thing here. We're just breathing. Maybe, if it feels comfortable, take the gaze out towards the right hand side. And just breathing here again, checking in with your thighs, with your hips. Notice if there's any excess tension that you might just be gripping on or holding on to that you definitely do not need to hold. Just let that release and see if the knees drift a little bit closer towards the floor. Let's take one more big breath in. Take a full breath out. And then on your inhale, bring your knees back up towards the sky, bring your gaze back to center, and then bring your feet so that they are about hip distance apart. And we're just going to find a few little pelvic tilts here. So it doesn't matter how close the feet are in towards the bum. They can be quite close in, they can be far away. It really does not matter. We're going to have the hands down beside the body. Palms are pressing into the mat. Your shoulders are nice and relaxed, so you should feel your shoulders down on the mat. And we're just going to find a really small movement here that you might not even see or feel. But we're just going to start to tip the tailbone. So if you bring your awareness down onto your tailbone, you're going to think about rocking it forwards, rocking it back. So in essence, what you're going to feel is your lower back pressing in towards the mat and then lifting, so we have this little space in between. So as we exhale, we press the low back down. As we inhale, we rock it forwards. Nice. So we're just rocking that tailbone forwards and backwards. Bringing a little bit of movement. And then coming back to center, back to stillness. Nice, we're going to release both legs long across the mat. So both legs are coming down nice and long. And if lying completely flat, completely long is uncomfortable for you, you can take your hands in underneath your sacrum. So sort of just a little bit lower than your low back. And you can have the hands there if that feels a little bit better for you. But if you're okay lying on your back, we're just going to bring the right knee in towards the chest. So right knee comes in. And we're going to initially start to feel this big stretch, maybe the front of the left hip, maybe down the left the right psoas muscles and the glutes. Just bringing that knee as close into the chest as feels comfortable. And then maybe starting to rock the hip open and closed. So we might start to open it up towards the side and then close it back over. And if this stretch is too much for you, you can go ahead and bend that left knee. Bring the sole of the foot onto the floor. That might just ease it a little bit. But if the left leg is okay long, you can keep it long. We're just opening up through the hip joints here. And then coming back to center, we're going to drop the right foot back onto the floor. We're going to find our standing tree here. So we're going to let that right knee drift out towards the side. You're going to bring the sole of the foot somewhere along the inside of the left leg. And again, it's up to you whether you want to keep it super low or maybe you want to bring it all the way up. If it's hard for you to let go and release this right thigh and right leg, you can place a little pillow or blanket in underneath that right knee if you need to. But wherever you are, you're just going to breathe. And if it feels good, you can take your hands up and overhead, close the eyes and just find a few deep breaths here. This is a lovely way for us to come into our tree without having to worry about strength, about balance. This is a lovely restorative way that we can enter our tree pose. We just remain here for a few more breaths. Let's take one more big inhale. Take a full exhale. And then if the hands are up, we can lower them back down. This right knee might need a little bit of help coming in, so help it come in. And then we're going to do the same thing other side. So the right leg's coming long, the left knee's coming in towards the chest. And we're just going to hug that knee in here. Maybe start to find a little rock side to side with the hip. So just opening the left hip out towards the side and then back through center. Again, if this is already a little bit too much, you can bend the right knee, have the sole of the foot on the floor, just to take the pressure off. We're just opening, closing the hip. You can use your right hand on your right hip here just to help stabilize. Just stretching out the low back. And then coming back to center, we're going to find our line tree on this side. So we're going to bring sole of the left foot back to the floor. We're going to open out the left knee, let it drop open towards the side. Again, if you need a little pillow or something, you can pop it in underneath the knee. And you decide where you want the foot to be. So maybe it's a little bit further up or lower down. And just let gravity take over here. Let gravity open that knee out towards the side. Stretching out all around the hips and the lower back. If it feels good for you, you can take the hands up and overhead. You can close the eyes here and find a few deep breaths. With every exhale, we're releasing. We're surrendering everything down to the mat. We're allowing all of our muscles to be stretched. Let's take one more big inhale. Take a full exhale. And then if the hands are up, we can bring them back down. You can help that left knee if it needs a little bit of help coming in. And once again, we're going to bring both knees in towards the chest. We're going to bring our hands on top of our knees here, and we're just going to send the knees away. So we're straightening out the arms and then bringing them in. So simple, just taking the knees away, bringing them back in. Feeling the lower back, pressing into the mat and then maybe slightly lifting off. And then bringing the knees in, giving them a little hug. And we're just going to send the knees into little circles here. So keep the knees together if we can. If there needs to be a little bit of space in between, that's okay. But we're just going to start to send the knees into little circles to begin with. So it's a very, very small movement. And then we might start to make it a little bit bigger. So think about starting to move into a little bit of a spiral where we start small and then we get bigger and bigger. Every circle that we make gets a little bit bigger than the one before until eventually we are making these big circles with our knees, with our hips. We feel all different parts of the low back pressed onto the mat. Can we do the same thing, just switch directions, only this time we'll start big. And we'll work back inwards, in towards our spiral. So every circle getting a little bit smaller, until eventually we are making these little teeny tiny circles. Take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, bring the soles of the feet back onto the floor. We're going to keep the knees bent up here, and we're just going to find one more little release for the low back. So take a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're going to let the knees drop out towards the right hand side. And if it feels good, you can open out the left hand towards the left. You can maybe take your gaze out towards those fingertips. And don't worry about how low these knees are coming to the floor. You definitely don't need to to be touching them on the floor. Just breathing here, releasing through the lower back, but also getting a little bit of a twist here through the spine. Inhaling and exhaling. On your next inhale, let's lift the knees. Let's bring everything back to center. As you exhale, drop the knees this time towards the left hand side. If it feels good, we can open out the right arm. We might take our gaze to look out towards the right fingers. And again, don't worry if the knees are on the mat, off the mat. Just releasing here, feeling that release, feeling that twist. A few more deep breaths. And then on your next inhale, we bring everything back to center, lift the knees back up. One more time, we hug the knees in towards the chest, hug them in nice and tight. We can take hold of around the shins. We might even start to lift the head, lift the shoulders, lift the upper body, hug ourselves up into a little teeny tiny ball, just for one big inhale, a full exhale, and then drop. And release everything all the way back down to your mat. And thank you so much for practicing with me. I hope that if you do have a little bit of low back pain, hopefully these stretches have helped to ease it. Thank you so much for checking this video out. If you liked it, please give it a like. If you would like to see more like this, please subscribe. And please also feel free to leave any suggestions of anything that you want to see in the comments. But all that being said, I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and namaste.